Tired Of. I'm Patti Johnson with my co-host,
Mark Benton.
Mark Benton. Today,
Hello.
Hello, everybody. It's vacation season. It's almost vacation.
Yeah.
We're talking about vacation.
Yeah.
We're planning some vacation. And today, we're going to talk about, are you sometimes exhausted after your vacation?
Yeah,
you go on vacation and come back and you just,
It's
you
the
know,
truth. It can happen.
Got just bags under your eyes and people ask you if you had fun and it's,
I'm worn out.
I had fun. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And then your shoes don't match. You got up late. It's just not good. So we're going to think, we want those vacations to be great.
We do.
They want it to be refreshed, recharged. And so Mark and I are going to give you our lessons, our observations, what we've learned.
Yes.
And from others. How do you make sure those vacations work for you?
They work.
So, yes.
I love it. I love this topic. This is going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. You know, and I think one thing, we set up vacations maybe to be too big. You know, I don't know about you, but I mean, can you really refresh and recharge in 3-4 weeks over the course of a year?
Yeah. I mean, that's why you should plan for several throughout the year.
And little mini vacation, like maybe a Friday afternoon.
Like minis, long, mini, long, longer.
Yes. So we want to plan ahead and make sure you're not, spending 3 weeks and then you're not getting what you want out of it. So I want to start off by, Mark.
Yes.
Tell me about, have you had any big vacation fails? How do you guys roll?
Oh, my goodness. Well, we as a family, growing up, we would take vacations every summer religiously. We would say the four of us, me, Shelly, and our two boys, we would go on vacation. That's what would happen. And it would just be us. We never went with other families. It was just the four of us. And we saw it as bonding time, right? But as the boys got older, we would start inviting others in. And we're going to talk about a lot of things here that made us tired. But the people you invite on vacation with you, they must be your people.
They got to be your people.
They got to.
So that's one of your.
That's one of mine. Know who you have invited.
Yes.
On your vacation.
We're going to talk about that because that's pretty important.
Yeah, I got more, but they'll come.
More.
Yeah.
Well, and I think for my vacation, my vacations as an adult, radically different. I hadn't even thought about, you talk about growing up.
Right.
I mean, my dad was a driver and drove everywhere.
Okay,
and
he liked to drive.
I'm going to tell you something. Our family drove to Alaska.
No, you didn't.
We did. People will look at me like, can you do that?
What?
You can. In a Volkswagen bus.
Did you own the Volkswagen bus?
We did.
Oh.
My dad had refurbished it and it was all. And
did y'all sleep in it?
Yes.
What?
But
Okay, wait. Back up. Y'all drove in a Volkswagen bus that was a sleeper.
Yeah.
To Alaska.
Now, we did stop and stay in a hotel along the way.
I hope so.
But it was, okay, that's what I grew up with, which now, Jim, my husband, is like, we have spent fortunes of trying to get you to counterbalance. Because now, if it doesn't have room service, I don't know about it. And I confess to being kind of bougie. But now, I'm sorry, I didn't really even think about that until you were talking about growing up. Like, I got stories growing up. It was like, don't take me camping. I'm not going.
You're not going.
I'm not going. But, I think our vacations, as an adult, we tend to go with a lot of people.
Yeah.
We have friends or family. And so I
see your Insta. Y'all have great vacations.
We have great vacations.
And fun. We have a lot of fun.
We have fun. But my vacations were always like, have a great time. They were not refresh and recharge. It wasn't one of those, go and just, stay in the wilderness and, and read. That's not ours. It was like boom, 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 go. And that's the way I like it. We both like it. But in terms of this refresh and recharge thing, that's not really our deal.
It's really important. I think, before you start thinking about your flights and, hotels and all that, you have to take a step back. Okay. And this step back is important. You've got to plan your vision. What is the vision? What do you want? Because based on how you plan it and what the intent or the desired outcome is, will define if it's a vacation or, listeners, if it's a trip.
Yeah.
And that's different.
It is.
Let me tell you, a vacation is where you are delighted.
Yeah.
you wake up in the morning and, your room, or, you're going to go to a beautiful breakfast or go down poolside or wherever, mountains, wherever you go, and you are delighted. A trip is where someone kicked you in your back all night because you have your little kids with you and you're all sleeping in the same
and your
room.
Aunt Cookies in the extra room.
Aunt Cookie's house in the extra room that kind of smells a little musty.
Yes, yes.
Or a trip is, dare I say, if you're one of those people that, is working, you're kind of doing work.
Yeah.
And work calls and getting called into emergencies, and you can't really enjoy. So there are some differences between vacation and trip, and you just have to know what you're planning for.
And I think too, like you were saying, like, what do I want? What do we need from this vacation?
Yeah.
And we're a Disney family.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that before we started.
Yeah.
And we go to Disney World all the time. Our kids have grown up. We still go all the time. We're just a Disney family and so on. So when the kids were, I don't know, maybe like 6 and 12, 7 and 3, in that stretch. Yeah. And all that point, they had been to Disney World multiple times. I decide we're going to Vermont. And we're gonna we're gonna go to Vermont, and it's gonna be peaceful, and it's gonna be beautiful in a greenery. And I decide that one day we're gonna go to the dairy farm and see how they make cheese. That night, they go. I can't remember if it's Patrick or Will. They say straight face. So, are there any roller coasters around here? That's an example of being out of sync.
But very much.
With whoever you're traveling with, you got to be in sync with them.
Wisdom out of the mouth of babes.
Yes. You got to make sure everybody's wanting the same thing. That's right. What you're trying to do. And that's when you decide what you're trying to do. I'm
compelled to tell this as a fail. First time we went on a vacation and we, took some family members with us. It was a vacation that in the middle turned into a trip.
Oh, it can happen if you aren't aligned up front.
So here's my advice. So when you're going on a place and like maybe you're staying on property and they have like excursions, you can go here or you can go there. Well, we took a trip to Jamaica. Right.
Interesting.
Yes. Okay. And it was, staying on one of the properties, and it was really nice. And so we were looking, kind of midweek, what's an excursion? And so we went and talked to the concierge and we sat down and she said, well, and I don't have a Jamaican accent. I won't even feign one here, but it would make it richer, the story richer, but just pretend a Jamaican accent. And so she said, well, you can go to the Bob Marley Village. And we were like, oh, the Bob Marley Village. And so what would that be like? Now,
I know where this is going.
I want y'all all to think, if you know who Bob Marley is. Okay.
We do.
Okay. So Bob Marley Village. And so we're like, well, what types of things are there? She goes, well, I don't really know, because what happens in the Bob Marley Village stays in the Bob Marley Village.
Like the Vegas of Jamaica.
I was like, oh. And she said, and whatever you do up there, she goes, don't tell us. And I said, well, I have young children, so I don't think that That's Bob
probably not gonna work.
Marley Village is going to work for us. Okay, then she said, well, you could do this, a nice stroll, okay, near a waterfall. A nice stroll near a waterfall.
Sounds great.
Okay. There is this attraction called the Dunn's River Falls in Jamaica. So if you've ever been there, listeners, you know exactly what I'm about to tell you. You start at the bottom of this kind of quasi mountain. You lock hands with other people. So you're holding the hands of somebody in front of you and someone behind you, and you are climbing up a waterfall.
Oh, heavens.
She said it's a nice stroll near a waterfall.
All right.
Halfway through, we are waist deep, chest deep in water and holding people's hands.
And you've got your little people.
I have my children. Oh, and so I'm like, what the Sam Putney did we do? Yeah. And so that's when it turned into a trip. My wife and my sister-in-law both took that and left me with the boys. And I just was like, we still have more to climb. And it's like me getting up the thing going, okay, guys, we can do this. And I'm thinking in my head, nobody's going to die. That's when it turned into a trip.
That you're going to live on your vacation. That's a trip.
That's a trip.
That is a trip.
That's a trip.
For sure.
For sure. So know what you want to do and really ask a lot of questions.
Yes.
Use the internet.
Yeah, I think that's an example of where, you got to be also aligned with the people that you think about you're planning your trips. Because I know for us, we have a family we travel a lot with.
Yeah.
And one good thing is it's kind of understood. Everybody does their thing. Like if you want to go.
That's a blessing.
If it is. You want to stay back and read all day? Do that. You're going to stay longer at the beach? We're going. You're going to stay for 3 more. Do that.
Yeah.
And I think
that
is, if you're going to travel with people, even if it's your family, you got to have that. You got to be aligned, because I think also the stress of, if you're I'm a free spirit.
Yeah.
I like to just go and I like to, rest. And your sister plans a vacation like a NASA launch.
She's like,
no.
Wait a minute. You said plans vacation like a NASA launch plan.
She's got that thing scheduled down.
She got an Excel spreadsheet.
She does. And you're going to be, that's an example of not being aligned. Not being aligned with who you're traveling with. So you got to have that. And, what else do you think? What other things, when you're thinking about your trips, what advice would you give our listeners on getting aligned? I
have this thing that that we do where we will always plan that, if we're gone, we always try to come back. We try to take the time that we want, depending on how long the trip is. But we always try to come back and leave like a day in between. So we come back on a Saturday.
That's so smart.
So you have a Sunday just to kind of recover and get yourself replanned. So you come back in on Monday ready to do whatever.
You're ready to recharge.
That's one of our biggest tips, and we enjoy that. We also try not to leave, like if we're going on a flight or something, where we get into the destination late.
Yeah.
Because
you just wasted a day.
So we try to, maximize our days. So
right.
Those are two things that we do that have really paid off well.
Yeah, I think, I think also related to that, what kind of vibe are you looking for?
That's true.
And how much, pre-planning do you need to do?
Yeah.
Because if you are, keep talking about Disney. If you're at Disney World, if you're going there, you can't roll in there at the last minute, right? You can't. Or if you're going somewhere and you want to do the boat cruise and there's only one during the week, you need to plan ahead.
Yeah.
So you can't be, I can remember one of our trips where Disney World, there is a spreadsheet. You are planning, not so much now because I've got good apps and stuff, but you're planning. I spent months, and we would go these 12 people to Disney World, multiple rooms. It's a lot, right? It's a lot. And I enjoyed it. It's fun. And I can remember that was as close to the NASA launch as you'd ever get. And I can remember someone in our family who should remain nameless said, we just got lucky. Everything just worked out great. I think we're just lucky.
Did you want to punch him?
He's still alive.
You wanted to throat punch him. I know you did.
He's still alive, and you knew it was a him. He's still alive. But that's an example of, if you got to figure out what needs my time and attention. You can't be the free spirit, freewheeler, just whatever happens, and then get there and be frustrated because you can't go do the thing you want to do.
I love that. One thing that comes to mind as we talk about Disney and you actually once upon a time, you were my, Disney mentor. Right. You told me the things that I needed to know.
Yes.
We may not be travel agents, but we know
a few things about a few things. And you did. And you told me about it. And so, we went and really had a good time. But listeners, if you have younger children, okay, my kids wanted to go to Disney so bad. They wanted to go. And we said, okay, in order for us to go to Disney, so this was a little bit of some advice. Everybody has to be able to go number 1 and number 2 on their own. We ain't bringing no pull-ups. Okay.
We're not bringing any Huggies pull-up. So it was motivating to little bit. He knew the plan. So he got himself together.
Pookie had to, he's bringing up the rear, so to speak.
Pooks, he knew the plan, and he was down for the plan. And so we get there and we see our first Disney character, right? And he climbed up my body like screaming to the top of his lungs.
He's not the only one.
And he's like, I hate Mickey. That's what he said to me. And I was like, what? That's why we're here. Yeah. And he's like, I can't want it.
Yeah, I can't want it. But see,
so you got to know.
You got to know. Also, do your homework. Was he ready? Maybe Pookie would have been ready another year.
But you know what? he's 24 and he's still not ready.
He's still not ready.
Yeah, because we're going this summer.
Well,
he's like, don't nowhere near Mickey.
Oh, poor. Oh, goodness.
So I'm just like, and I don't think he minds me telling that story, but you just have to know your people.
You need your people. I think the other thing, if you're going with other families, is not that you want to talk too much finances, but you can get out of sync with people on your financials.
That's
in fact,
important.
I was talking to a friend of mine, and she had gone on a ski trip with her brother-in-law and his family.
Yeah.
And she said, we thought we had a pretty big budget on this, but they were going out every night, these super nice dinners. They were taking all the kids. And she was like, I kind of had to say, like a couple of nights in, look, we probably need to stay back with our kids. We need to do some pizza.
We're going to do Burger King.
We're going to do some pizza, or some burgers down,
Yeah.
And so that just reminded me that it is important. You talk about you can get on the trip and get out of sync, and it can turn into a vacation, can turn into a trip. Either way, I like to go do this. I like to go for nice restaurants. I like to get a bottle of wine, and the other, no, they can't afford that. Or the flip.
Yes.
You got to be in sync.
You got to contract on that in advance. And you know what? It brings me to listeners, a good play if you do that and you travel with other families, and maybe you already have this in sync, but contract up front. Like, hey, why don't we, do a couple of things here and then we'll eat in here. Like, find the balance, but just talk about it. And, if it's awkward, you don't necessarily have to say it like that. You could just say, you know what, we're going to do, because kind of know your audience, right? And just say, we're going to do like one nice dinner. Yeah. And then the other thing, like if you have an Airbnb or, or something, we're just going to cook in.
Or instead of, and then you feel like, why am I cooking in? I've been working all the time.
Oh,
it can be look, we're going to go out a couple of nights. Yep. What do you guys want to do?
Yes.
So it's more, it's not a lowest common denominator or highest common denominator. It's just like, that's important. Okay, how do we do that?
Yeah.
So I think on the front end, don't be shy about getting aligned on, we've talked about what kind of experience you want. What's it going to take to recharge? Is it a recharge vacation? Or sometimes it's just, I want to go somewhere.
You want to go see.
We got to go see Aunt Cookie.
Right.
Maybe we'll stay 2 days with Aunt Cookie and then we'll go do something else.
That's right. You know what this brings to mind, and me and mine have started doing this, and that is just planning fun trips, just, the two of us to go, right? Sure. And you get to a point, where you can do that. Some people do it when they're younger. We didn't really do it when our kids were younger, but, now that we're older, so we're going to, go to New York in August to a concert.
Love it.
And go see an artist that we like. And so that's just going to be really fun.
Yes.
But I think planning these little things.
Short little
burst trips is good too.
Is great.
And they're trips because sometimes, and we're calling them trips because, they have a purpose. Like we went over a long weekend one time with everybody and we were in New York. Yeah. And we were sightseeing. We got on the red bus and it took us all over and we were busy. That was a trip. Yeah. But we had a good trip.
Yeah, same here. Like a lot of times it's great. That's what you wanted.
Yeah,
but I think being intentional and not wanting something and then realizing, oh gosh, it didn't turn out that way. So let's talk about when you're actually, now you're on the trip.
Okay.
What are some pitfalls that we think our listeners ought to be thinking about? And listeners, I want you all to be thinking about it too.
Yeah.
We're giving you our ideas. I hope you are doing the same. What are you're on the trip, what are some pitfalls that you got to watch out for?
Now, I have practiced this. I call it a leading practice. And I've had this leading practice for as long as I can remember. And the leading practice is don't overreach.
Yeah.
Now, meaning. And it's usually when it comes to food. Okay. So don't go out of the country, right? And just get to eating and just doing all the things because
I don't stop. We know. We know.
It may come back on you.
Yeah, you may need pull-ups.
You may need you may need to pack some pull-ups. Okay. Or I think it now isn't some poise or some depends. Now let me tell you something. So don't overreach. Okay. That is my biggest one. Like know and pace yourself. Because, and you could just be going to, from, California to Alaska. And if you're doing that, driving, just know when you get to the new place, don't overreach,
don't overschedule. I thought that was the other thing you're going to say.
No.
Is overdo.
Because you can be overscheduled, but if you're overscheduled and you overreach,
it's not good.
Terrible.
You're going to be needing the pull-ups out in public.
How are you going to be in the pull-ups in public?
I know.
What's yours? What's an advice point that you have?
I think don't don't fall into cruise director. And that means, I've talked about this in terms of, taking on too much and so on. And that is, I know I've at times like, I don't seem like they're having a good time. Are they having fun? What am I doing? That's not my thing.
Did you give them a survey after the trip? You didn't?
No, during the trip.
How would you rate the trip?
How would you rate the trip?
Yeah.
I mean, stop.
Yeah.
And I think it's not your job to be, are you, I think I don't know if they like that or not.
Don't take on that energy. Don't
take on that. Even if you are the parent, even if you maybe have some hosting responsibilities, just watch out for that. Yeah. Also, I think I'm going to quote our good friend Martha Diesterhoff, who's a regular listener, and she and I were driving back from. Hey, Martha, we were driving back last night and from an event, and she said, "What are you going to talk about?" And so I said, "Vacation." She goes, "I have one tip I want you to mention." I said, "What's that?" She goes, "Take your dang vacation." Oh, and it was the point of how many people try to really impress the manager. I'm really hard worker. I'm not going to take on vacation. Yeah. Your manager's never going to remember that, but your family will. So take the vacation.
Preach and teach, Patti.
Martha, that's Martha.
Through Martha, through you.
Yeah.
Preach and teach. Take your dang vacation. You just said it. Listeners, I'm going to come back to the point. If I have no other job here, that's what I'm going to do. Take your dang vacation. Yeah. Because your manager is not going to know, I was on the call and I did this, but your family will.
They'll know.
The people that are with you.
They will remember. And I think that's an important thing. And I know a lot of people are in a culture of, it's pretty common among our friend group.
It is.
Yeah, I didn't take it all. I just, I didn't have time.
Right. Well, let me tell you something. We were at famed Disney World, and for some reason, I didn't set all my boundaries. We're always talking about boundaries.
We talk about boundaries every time.
A lot. I didn't set my boundaries, and my family, they were at one of the events and they were watching, and my phone rang, and I knew it was my manager, and I needed to take it. So I needed to go to a place that was quiet. Right. Where was that going to be? So I went into a bathroom.
No, you didn't.
Well, I was also stressed out. I was like, oh, what happened? That she's calling.
Well, it's going to be flush in the background.
Well, that's what
worse
happened.
Than noise.
They called me they were in the middle of a meeting, the team, and they had a question for me, and I was on speaker, and the toilet flushed.
Yeah, that's bad.
So everybody around the table heard the toilet flush, and they were like, "Where are you?"
Yeah, you'd be better off take your vacation.
I should have just not picked up the phone.
Picked up the phone. Put your boundaries in. That's right, and I think that's a great
I shouldn't have picked up the phone.
Have the boundaries. I also think watch out for FOMO. When you get there.
Like trying to do it all, or like what?
Well, no. It's like, I don't like to go bay fishing. I might get sick. You're going, hey, everybody, we're going bay fishing tomorrow. Everybody ready? I'm going, I want to go. I'm going to feel left out. You need to say, go forth.
Yes.
Have a wonderful time bay fishing. I'll catch you when you get back. Yeah. And don't let FOMO cause you to do stuff that you don't really want to do.
Yeah.
Because
it's going to turn into a trip.
It's going to turn worse than a trip.
You might be in some pull-ups.
Yeah, might be pull-ups. We'd be carrying the pull-up. But you know what I mean? It's like, but it happens. If you're going with other people, you got to be willing to say, go ahead. It'll be fun. I don't
miss me on that.
Do your thing.
Miss me. I'm going to be here.
Do your thing on your vacation.
Yeah.
I think also, we talked about this, those of you that have listened to our episode, The Addicted to Busy. Yeah. You mentioned work. You got the work call that you take in the bathroom. Yeah. I think the other thing is put up your boundaries. It's okay to say, I'm going on vacation, everybody. And plan, I'll be out. Right. And don't fall into that. Your team is telling you, your manager, we got it. Go. Have a great time. Yeah. And you say, you know what? I better call in. And I think that is a watch out.
That's a big watch out.
It's a big watch out. You mentioned also the work, like you think you're going to answer one email.
Oh, well, we were talking about this, and I said I don't bring my work laptop
you did talk about that.
on vacation with me. Now, I'm going to be transparent. Yes, there's times when I knew something was happening, like there were some approvals that only I could do. And so I brought it, but I knew that, right? But you bring your work laptop because you feel you need to for whatever reason, and you have it open, and maybe you're just, on there on the internet, but then you slip on over to your emails and you see some stuff popping off. And then now you feel, wait a minute, this is about to go off the rails. Right. Your vacation just turned into a trip.
And your family. I'm just going to be on this call. I'm going to answer a couple of emails, or I'm going to take about an hour this morning.
Yeah.
And then you guys go on.
Yeah.
You guys go on.
Yeah.
And, go do the boating thing, whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And you have to be real careful of that, right? You do. You really do. Now, I've said this before in another episode. I think it was Addicted to Busy, and I'll say it quickly. But it's like, if you're at a certain point in your career where you really do set your schedule and you have that authority, then one thing that, I've practiced is about 3 weeks before I know I'm going to go on vacation, I start setting it up. I don't
100%.
I don't start new projects.
Yeah.
I don't start taking on work, that I know is going to have a deadline days before I have to go. Now, you may not be in a position where you can do that, but what I'll say to our listeners is, what can you start to do? Like, can you start saying, well, I have a planned vacation during this time. So keep yourself some buffer and don't lose your buffer. Like 5 days before, I'm going to need to make sure I get this to you then by that date, because I need to wrap up some other things and I'm going to be out. And my vacation is important to me, and it's important that I spend that time with my family. And so I want to prioritize it.
Well, and that's an example in one of your mantras. You have many, but one of them is, you teach people how to treat you.
Yes.
I think too, you teach the people you work with.
Yeah.
I'm available all the time. You can call me anytime.
Right.
It doesn't matter. I'm fine. It's fine. Call me on vacation. It'll be cool. Instead of saying that time for me is really important, and then and tell everybody. And sometimes things happen.
Sure.
If you're in a big job, of course. Sure. But I think you can try to set expectation. I think you mentioned too the pre-planning for it.
Yeah.
To make sure it goes well.
Yeah.
Also, I think important on vacation, like you talk about once you're there, is talking about stuff. We talked about the financial. We talked about, also, how do you like to spend your time? Maybe not stuff you plan ahead on, like for us. We had some friends at our house, and we were at the beach, and I never thought about it this way, but one of our friends said, because what we do is we do a lot of stuff together. Yeah. We play games every night. That's kind of a Johnson family thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Games and games and games.
Yeah.
And one of our friends said something about, we said, talking about the week, and he said, you all have a very high engagement vacation.
High engagement. That was feedback. That was feedback.
High engagement.
High engagement vacation.
Coffee on the porch in the morning.
Yes.
Everybody's visiting and talking, and then we, in the evening you're playing games. But people do your thing during the day. Yeah. But morning and evening you tend to kind of do things together.
There
and
you
even
go.
during the day there's a lot of, you don't have to do things, but a lot of activity. And it kind of made me laugh because I realized
high engagement.
We all vacation differently.
That's right.
Our normal of what we want gets back to where we started this conversation.
You got a contract for it.
Yeah, and make sure
this is what we do. What do y'all? What do you want to do? Because you don't have to do that with us.
You don't.
Honestly,
do your thing.
Yeah.
So in the spirit of, let's talk about our tips.
Yes.
To make vacation a vacation. We've mentioned a lot, but if you think about what are the other, just anything we've missed or anything else that you think is super important that for those people that are really thinking, okay, it's vacation season. Yeah. How do I make this all fit?
My thing is, I hate, well, let me back up. I've traveled a lot in my life, internationally, domestically and everything. And I've gotten to the point where it's one suitcase. I don't check. I don't check, and I can get away with it, and one, whatever they tell me I can take, one carry-on and one personal item. Really?
Those of you that don't know Mark, you should see, I haven't been in it. I've seen photos of Mark's closet.
Yeah.
You got some clothes.
I told you.
Clothes.
I told you that my closet is delightful. Yeah.
I feel like Shelly. You said Shelly's is bigger. I don't believe it. I'm going to call her.
Her side is bigger.
Okay.
I'm going to send you a picture. Anyway.
Talk to her about it. But anyway, I'm shocked you can get to one.
I really can.
And that's the goal.
Don't overpack. Yeah. But like some people, they'll overpack like and they pack enough underwear or something like they plan on having an accident every day. I mean, or two. And it's like, oh, do you do that? Okay. Anyway, I think that don't overpack because then you're trying to get through the airport with all these bags. And if you have young kids, and sometimes when you have younger kids, yeah, you do have to pack a lot, but teach people like our boys travel so well.
Yeah.
Right. They got it down to a science. I'm like, listen, if y'all check, I'm going to see you there.
See, yeah, I know.
Yeah. You waiting on that bag? I'm going to be laid up.
Yes.
I'll see you when you get there.
Now, business, I'm in one bag.
Yeah.
Vacation, what am I going to want to wear?
Well, yeah.
It might be a little cool.
Well,
it might be a little warmer. I might need a jacket. I might not be in the mood for that.
Well, I always reserve the right that if I'm someplace where I might need to do a little shopping.
There you go. That's what you're doing. Well, you got to be somewhere that I can do some shopping.
That's right.
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
And then if you have extra, you just ship it back.
You just ship it. We just bought an extra suitcase. We were just in California, bought an extra. Jim's like, okay. You have. I got to have an extra suitcase because we had extra stuff.
That's stuff.
You got to do it.
What's a tip that you have?
Well, I think, we talked about the work situation.
Yeah.
I think don't set yourself up. I think you got to make a decision if sometimes, as you know, you've got your vacation, if you're a pre-planner like we are, and I know a lot of times you've been in an environment where you needed to pre-plan vacations.
That's true.
But then all of a sudden, there's a great big old fat issue that's landing right in the middle of your vacation.
Yeah.
And you have to decide, sometimes in those situations, am I going to have to work a little on vacation?
Yeah.
Or am I in a situation I can reschedule it and push it back? And neither one of those is great. I have had it happen
That happened to me just earlier this year.
Really?
Didn't plan it. They knew how to contact me and they called me and there was an issue.
Yeah.
And we just had to work through it.
Had to deal with it.
But I also kind of said, again, what can be solved right now?
Right.
That, how do we immediately kind of figure it out and what things can actually wait?
Yes.
Because if I'm responsible, for it, there's nothing I can do from here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think, that the work piece, I think, whether it's, it's in the business world or you have committee responsibilities or nonprofit, it doesn't really matter. It is anticipating what's going to happen when you're out.
That's right.
I think the other tip, we started back at the very beginning about the little mini trips or mini vacations rather. Don't put so much on those 3 or 4 weeks. Because you're going to kind of if that is where you're going to refresh, recharge. If you're going to go have fun and do something different. That's great. If you need refresh and recharge, maybe take a Friday afternoon off.
Yeah, that's great advice.
What is enjoyable to you? Maybe it is get together with friends, and maybe it's a weekend road trip. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Not in a Volkswagen bus.
Yeah,
don't do it.
Going to Alaska.
Yeah. Anyway, but create little mini pockets, go to the spa if you can.
Yeah.
Little things like that because, we've been talking a lot about mental health and about not putting yourself last on one of our prior episodes.
Yeah.
It's going to take more than those 3 or 4 week vacations for you to feel that. So don't put too much on it.
That is so wise. I think also depending on, everybody has different jobs and different things. And so your vacation, you may have very limited vacation or have to take it very sparingly. So find those opportunities, to take care of yourself, and build it in, I think that's important.
Yeah.
It's really important.
This is not a tip, but one thing I have always done since we've been married is everywhere we go, I get a Christmas ornament.
Oh, we do that.
Do you?
Yeah, we do that.
And so our tree is full of, and of course, the boys now don't like it because if they're not here, we're putting it up. I'll be sending pictures. Remember that time? Remember
that time when?
Time we went to Vermont. And you went to
the maple syrup ornament.
I have 2 Christmas ornaments, and that is one of the jokes. My most favorite trip. And I said, anyway, so, but that's a great way also to have memories of these incredible vacations.
Yeah.
And so that's super fun.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, any closing thoughts, Mark, on vacations?
I just will say that you can have room for both in your life, vacations and trips.
Yeah.
Yep. You just have to know what it is. And here's the thing. I have a really good friend that told me that the way to keep the energy going is when one event, trip, or vacation is ending, immediately start planning the next one.
You know what? I'm a believer in your friends. Yeah. In fact, that's, I kind of drive people crazy.
It gives me energy. I'm like, we are on our way to the airport coming back home. And I'm like,
what are we going to do next?
What are we going to do next?
I love that.
Yeah.
Because you can look forward to it. And planning is part of the fun of it, isn't it? And
that's fun.
Doing the research and all that. So guys, it's vacation season.
It is.
We hope this has given you some tips to think about what kind of vacation you want.
Yeah.
And if you've already planned it, how do you make sure you avoid things that you just come back exhausted and thinking, what?
Well, I'm hoping that people have heard this, to your point, and they might reassess. Maybe they have a plan. They're like, oh, well, wait a minute. This might be turned into a trip.
It might be.
Right. So you still might have time to reassess.
You have time. So everybody, enjoy summer vacation. You'll have a great season.
Yes.
And we hope we gave you some tips to make them great.
Some news you can use, right?
News you can use.
Right.
And we hope that Mark, tell everybody how they can follow and find us and listen to us.
Yeah. So on Instagram, you can find us on Aren't Ya Tired Of _social on Instagram. So we invite you to join that community. You can listen to us on Apple and Spotify. Please, we'd love to hear from you. So, DM us, send us your thoughts. We love to hear from you. We love to hear what we're doing well that you appreciate and that resonates with you because it helps us to make sure that we're doing more of it.
Yes. And leave a review. We would love that. We love that. We love that feedback. And thank you so much. Have a great week and a great summer vacation season.
Take care.
Thank you all.
Happy traveling.
Bye.